Tatiana Schlossberg, JFK's granddaughter, just revealed she's dying. And she's publicly calling out her cousin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., saying he might be making it worse. May 2024, Columbia Presbyterian, 34-year-old Tatiana gives birth to her second child. Hours later, doctors rush back. High white blood cell count. Could be pregnancy or leukemia. Results: acute myeloid leukemia with rare mutation in version 3, usually in elderly patients. 6 months later, she publishes A Battle with My Blood in The New Yorker. Chemo, bone marrow transplant, relapse, clinical trials. Doctor's verdict: I could keep you alive for a year, maybe. The twist: RFK Jr. is now health secretary. Tatiana calls him an embarrassment and says his actions hurt patients like her. Is this family betrayal or something even darker? The Kennedys mean two things: political royalty and unimaginable tragedy. JFK assassinated 1963, Bobby murdered 1968, John Jr. crash 1999. Now Tatiana adds a new chapter, but she says the threat is inside the family. In her essay, while receiving government-funded treatment, RFK Jr. was confirmed health secretary. She writes, "He's an embarrassment to me and the rest of my immediate family." In the piece, she says he cut nearly $500 million from mRNA vaccine research, tech she believes could treat cancers, and slashed billions from NIH. According to her, hundreds of grants canceled, thousands of patients affected. She worried about leukemia research funding, whether trials that were her only shot at remission would survive. One Kennedy fighting for her life, while another stands accused of tearing down the system patients rely on. So how did the family react when this went public? Before diagnosis, Tatiana lived quietly outside the spotlight. Environmental journalist, New York Times writer, author of Inconspicuous Consumption. May 2024 shattered everything. Diagnosis hours after birth. Weeks at Columbia Presbyterian, bone marrow transplant, relapse, experimental trials. Outlets report doctors gave her about a year. Her husband George slept on hospital floors. Parents Caroline and Edwin, siblings Jack and Rose raising my children. Sitting in hospital rooms almost every day, holding her hand unflinchingly while I suffered. Most heartbreaking, she feels she's added a new tragedy to Caroline's life, who lost her father to assassination at 5, brother in a crash, now possibly her daughter. For people following this, it feels like history repeating, except this time it's a young mother's body turning against her. But here's what nobody expected. The family was about to make this fight very public. Tatiana's essay drops. Kennedys respond instantly. Brother Jack Schlossberg shares screenshots on Instagram. Life is short, let it rip. E-News and People call it a battle cry. Maria Shriver posts, "I'm super proud of Tatiana. Her honest, heartbreaking story will take your breath away. If you read one thing today, read this." Catherine Schwarzenegger writes, "I have only tears and anger. Reading this is her reality." Highlighting funding cuts that terrify those in medicine. Who's silent? RFK Jr. No response. Social media explodes. Some say, "She's dying, why make it political?" Others, "This is about survival. Policy decides who gets treatment." Jack becomes the loud brother, Maria, the protective cousin, Catherine, the emotional voice, and RFK Jr. says nothing. Entertainment shows start framing it like real-life family drama. Kennedy dynasty splitting publicly. Millions choosing sides. But Tatiana wasn't done yet. She had one more bombshell to drop. RFK Jr. has polarized America for years. Anti-vaccine activism, controversial health claims, independent presidential run before endorsing Trump, landing health secretary. For observers, watching a historically democratic, pro-science dynasty produce a famous vaccine skeptic felt like whiplash. Caroline wrote Senate letter opposing him. They failed. Tatiana's essay forces this tension into spotlight. She writes, "Bobby said no vaccine is safe and effective." Bobby probably doesn't remember millions paralyzed or killed by polio before vaccines. Then the chilling detail. Postpartum hemorrhage nearly killed her. Doctors used misoprostol to save her life. She writes, "This drug is part of medication abortion under FDA review at Bobby's urging. I freeze thinking, what if it wasn't available to me and millions of women?" Some medical commentators point to her story as a real-world example of how decisions made in government offices echo into hospital rooms. Question observers are asking, is RFK Jr. following his beliefs or destroying the family legacy? And will he ever break his silence? Tatiana Schlossberg, 35, mother of two, roughly 1 year left per doctors. She's spending it writing an essay calling out her cousin for what she believes is harming cancer patients nationwide. Family rallied, Jack's defiant post, Maria's emotional newsletter, Catherine's tears, Caroline's failed Senate letter. RFK Jr., still silent as of now. Tatiana continues experimental treatments, watches kids grow too fast, wonders if research keeping her alive will survive under her cousin's leadership. For some, pure tragedy, another dark chapter in Kennedy history. For others, extraordinary courage, refusing silence, even breaking with family publicly. Entertainment and political media made this one of the biggest celebrity stories of late 2024. My question, was Tatiana right publicly calling out RFK Jr., or should family conflicts stay private, even when stakes are life and death? Drop your answer below. Subscribe to CeleWave for more real stories behind famous names, the parts most headlines leave out.